Welcome back to the Redeem Her Time podcast, where we help Christian women entrepreneurs like you grow a business that honors God, multiplies your impact, and leads to more peace and not more hustle. I'm your host, Lissa Figgins, scaling strategist who believes the key to scaling your results is scaling your time. And today, we're going to be talking about one of the most overlooked growth strategies in today's market, one that's hiding in plain sight. Are you ready? It's not a new funnel. It's not a viral post. It's not even another lead magnet or ad campaign. It's actually something you already have. You want to know what it is? Your current leads. That's right. The very people already in your world could be the fastest way to double, triple, or even quadruple your sales in Q4 without spending a single dollar or hour chasing new ones. So, in this episode, I'm going to show you how to leverage a profitable lead strategy and turn your existing connections into your biggest source of growth by building genuine relationships that deepen trust, generate new sales, and even drive referrals. So, whether you run a service based business or sell products, you're going to learn how to make the leads you already have your number one asset to bring in new clients or customers before the end of the year and to set yourself up for a strong start heading into 2025. And by the end of this episode, you're going to be thinking very differently about the leads you already have and might even start seeing names and faces pop into your mind before we're done. Because when you learn how to re engage and steward your current leads the right way, you'll realize God has already placed everything you need for your next level of growth right in front of you. But before we go any further, if you really want to go deeper to know exactly how to fill, nurture, and convert your pipeline as a faith centered CEO, then I want to personally invite you to join me for the free 3-day Profitable Leads Masterclass happening October 21st through 23rd. During this live experience, we're going to talk about what the top 1% of business owners are doing different in today's market. And no, it's not more automated funnels or lengthy email sequences. On day one, you'll learn how the top 1% convert leads faster in today's market. On day two, we'll talk about how the top 1% monetize leads daily with a simple system and strategy they make time for every day. And on day three, you'll see how the top 1% attract new leads consistently by leveraging time scaling strategies that grow their reach and list. Girl, this is the missing link that will finally help you bring in more clients or customers who are ready to experience what you have to offer and do it in a way that honors your time, your values, and your faith. So, right now, push pause and go grab your spot at redeemhertime.com/leads. And don't let time be your excuse because replays will go out to everyone who registers. All right, let's dive into today's episode. But first, let's be real for a second. When it comes to signing clients or bringing in new customers, how often have you thought yourself thinking, I just need more leads? If only more people saw my stuff. I'm doing all the things, but no one's biting. Does that sound familiar? It's so easy to believe that growth requires more. More followers, more content, more visibility, more effort, more time. But what if that belief is actually keeping you stuck in a constant cycle of striving instead of stewarding what you already have? Maybe you've been posting consistently, tweaking your offer, showing up on calls, yet the conversations and conversions still feel inconsistent. And you start to wonder if people even want what you have to offer, or if you're missing something. Here's the truth. You're not missing leads. You're missing leverage. The problem isn't that you don't have enough people to serve. It's that you haven't fully served the people God has already brought into your business. And I get it. In a world that screams more, 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 slowing down to look at who's already in front of you doesn't feel exciting. It feels small, actually. But in the kingdom, sometimes God's answer isn't addition, it's multiplication through wise stewardship. So let's talk about why your existing leads are your number one source of sales. Because when it comes to signing clients or getting new customers, most women in business immediately think of that word, more, right? More eyes in their offers, more followers, more engagement, more new people coming in the door. But what if the more you're looking for isn't out there somewhere, but already in your inbox, in your DMs, and in your email list? Because here's the truth. Your existing leads are your number one source of sales. That's what I call profitable leads. They're the women who've already said yes in some way. Maybe they've grabbed your freebie, commented on your post, or even booked a discovery call that never quite turned into a client. Maybe they bought a product from you last year but haven't checked out your new line. Or maybe they came to a workshop, loved it, and then life got busy. These people already know you. They've experienced a little bit of what you carry, your story, your message, your expertise, and they trusted you enough to say yes once. That makes them fertile soil, ready to be cultivated again. And here's the part we often overlook. It's so much easier to serve and sell to someone who already knows, likes, and trusts you than to try to convince someone brand new that you're the one they need. In fact, studies show it costs 5 to 10 times more time, energy, and money to attract a new lead than to convert an existing one. But as faith-centered CEOs, we don't just look at this data from data perspective, we look at it through the lens of stewardship. God has already brought people into your world for a reason. He's connected you with them for a purpose. And when you intentionally nurture those relationships, not just for profit, but from a place of serving, you're honoring Him with what is already in your hands. It's just like the parable of the talents. The servants who multiplied what they'd been given didn't need to find new talents. They needed to invest the ones that had already been given. So before you spend hours tweaking your funnel or hundreds of dollars running new ads, take a step back and ask yourself, am I fully stewarding the leads that God has already entrusted to me? Because sometimes the harvest you're praying for isn't waiting for you to plant new seeds. It's waiting for you to water the ones that are already in the ground. So let's break this down a little bit further, because not all leads are created equal, and understanding the difference helps you know where to focus your time and energy for the greatest return. There are really three kinds of leads in your world right now: cold leads, warm leads, and hot leads. Cold leads are the ones who don't know you yet. They might see one of your posts, they might click on your website, they might stumble across your freebie, but there's no real relationship or trust built yet. Think of them like strangers walking past your shop window. They may pause and look in, but they're not ready to buy, at least not yet. These are the ones most marketing advice tells you to chase. Run more ads, create more content, build bigger audiences. But here's the thing: cold leads require a lot of time and a lot of energy to warm up. And if you're constantly chasing cold, you'll always feel like you're striving instead of stewarding. Warm hands, leads, on the other hand, are already in your ecosystem. They're on your email list, in your Facebook group, following you on Instagram, maybe even replying to your stories or cheering you on. They're familiar with who you are and what you do. They just haven't taken the next step yet. These are the women who've already shown interest. Maybe they said, not right now, a few months ago, or they've been watching from the sidelines. The soil is already tilled. It just needs a little watering through connection and consistency. And then there are your hot leads, those who've already worked with you, bought from you, or had a genuine conversation about what you have to offer. They've seen the fruit of what you do. They've experienced your transformation or trust your expertise. These are the people most likely to say yes again when you re-engage them or to refer someone else your way. And yet, these are often the people we forget to reach back out to. We assume, well, if they want to buy again, they would have. But friend, people get busy. Life happens. They want to. They just need a gentle reminder and an intentional invitation. That's why in today's market, where everyone's chasing cold traffic and complex funnels, your greatest opportunity for growth lies with your warm and hot leads. That is where you should be focusing your time. They don't need convincing. They need connection. And when you start viewing them through the lens of stewardship, you realize that follow-up isn't pushy. It's faithful. Because now you're not chasing down clients, you're circling back to relationships. All right, once you understand where your leads fall, cold, warm, or hot, the next question becomes, okay, Lissa, what do I actually do with them? And this is where one of my CEOs asked me something so good recently that I bet you're thinking as well. She said, Lissa, for some of these people, it's been a long time since I talked to them. When has it been too long to reach back out? Wouldn't it be awkward or even inappropriate now? You know what my answer was? Never. It's never too late to reconnect. Because just like in any relationship, a genuine hello again can pick the conversation right back up. And often, it's exactly what the other person needed. Think about it. How many times have you meant to get back to someone, or they meant to get back to you, and it just didn't happen? Life got busy. They weren't ready. You got focused on something else, and then, months or even years later, you think of them again. This is where what I call the hello again strategy comes in. It's simple, genuine, and powerful because it's rooted in relationship, not in pressure. Here's how it works. You reach back out to people who've already shown interest in what you do. Someone who downloaded your freebie, joined your challenge, hopped on a call, or even bought from you in the past. And you simply pick the conversation back up. It might sound something like this. Hey, so and so, I was just thinking about you today and realized it's been a bit since we connected. Last time we talked, you mentioned insert their goal or need. How's that going? That's it. No pitch, no pressure, just presence. Because you're not reappearing to sell, you're showing up to serve. Sometimes they'll reply right away with excitement, like, oh my goodness, I was just thinking about you. Other times they might say, wow, thanks for reaching out. I still need help with that. And occasionally, they might not reply at all. And that's okay, because the win is in the obedience of re engagement, not in the outcome of their response. When you step out and say hello again, you are being faithful to steward the relationship already in your care. And remember, in God's economy, nothing is ever wasted. That seed you planted months ago might just need a little sunlight and water. Your simple message might be exactly what it needs to finally take root and bear fruit. So don't overthink it. Don't talk yourself out of it. Just open your messages, scroll through your list, and start saying hello again. Because you never know which conversation might be the one that unlocks the next opportunity for them and for you. But one of the biggest mistakes entrepreneurs make with their existing leads is staying stuck in what I call the friend zone. You know what I mean? That person you've exchanged DMs with, commented on each other's posts, maybe even chatted months ago, but it never went anywhere. Now, if you've had those conversations that never go anywhere, here's how to move past it gracefully and genuinely. Try a simple message like this. I work with and create resources for insert ideal client, to insert desired result. Just curious, are you currently working on insert area you help people get results with? This opens the door for permission, not pressure. Remember, selling is serving when your heart is to help. You're not chasing, you're checking in. You're not pitching, you're serving. And when you lead with connection instead of conversion, conversations naturally flow, and often so do the sales. This, my friend, is faithful stewardship in action, using your gifts, your expertise, and your time to meet a need that God already revealed. Now, I know what you might be thinking, Lissa, I don't have time to follow up with all these people. And I get it. You've got clients to serve, content to create, and a to-do list that seems to grow faster than it shrinks. But here's the truth. When you say you don't have time, what you really mean is you haven't made the time. Am I right? Because when you truly treat your leads like the valuable resource they are, you'll make time for them, won't you? This is where stewardship meets schedules, systems, and strategy. And when you systemize your follow-up, it doesn't drain your energy or your time. It actually multiplies your impact. So here are the 3 simple tools that I teach my clients to use to simplify and scale their leads process. First, a 12-week growth map. Think of this as your 90-day roadmap for results. Instead of winging it, you break your follow-ups into weekly milestones and action steps. Decide on your goal, whether it's re-engaging past leads, booking calls, or filling your program, then map out what needs to happen each week to get you there. By planning this way, you move from reactive to intentional, tracking your progress instead of your just activity. And Q4, or whatever quarter you're in right now, suddenly feels clear, focused, and manageable. Tool number 2 is a CEO dashboard. Think of this as your central hub for all your leads. Instead of scattering notes across emails, DMs, and sticky notes, what if you organize them in one simple system? A spreadsheet, a CRM, or even a single tab. Tracking where each lead is in the conversation, when to follow up, and what your next step is, talk about time saving. By keeping everything in one place, you move from reactive scrambling to intentional action. And you'll always know who to reach out to, when, and why. So that way, no warm or hot lead slips through the cracks. And tool number 3 is the ideal week plan. Think of this as designing your weekly rhythm for results. Instead of squeezing in follow-ups whenever you can, or when you remember, you intentionally block 30 to 60 minutes a day to reconnect with leads. By embedding hello again time into your routine, you will create a consistent, sustainable habit. And then follow-ups will stop feeling like a last-minute scramble, and conversations will become more natural, more productive, and more fruitful. Because here's the kingdom truth. When you consistently create space to connect in your schedule, you create space for consistent sales. And isn't that what we're really after? Sustainable success that is consistent, not rushed or forgotten? Here's something that trips up most business owners. They give up after just one follow-up, but you're not most people. Most people send a DM, an email, or even a personal invite, and they get no response and assume the lead wasn't interested. So they move on. Does that sound familiar? But here's what the data and years of experience tell us. Most conversions happen after the fifth, sixth, or even seventh touch point. So when you stop too soon, you're literally leaving blessings and impact on the table. Opportunities to serve, to connect, and yes, to generate revenue are slipping away because you didn't follow through faithfully. So instead of saying, I don't have enough leads, start asking yourself, have I faithfully served the ones that I already have? And then start making time to do that. Because faithful stewardship isn't about constantly planting new seeds. It's about tending the field you've already been given. Water it, nurture it, check in consistently, show up with presence and care. And this is where the laws of the harvest come in. Those small, faithful actions over time will produce a harvest beyond what you could imagine in the moment. And here's the thing you need to know. Repeated exposure isn't spammy or pushy. It's actually stewardship in action. It's the faithful tending that turns warm connections into lasting relationships, referrals, and yes, conversions. Because when you treat your leads like blessings entrusted into your care, not just numbers on a list, something shifts. Conversations flow more naturally, trust deepens, and God multiplies the fruit of your faithfulness. Faithful stewardship means tending that field, watering, nurturing, checking in, not planting a new one every week and wondering why nothing grows. So here's my challenge to you. What if you set aside just 1 hour a day? I call it your Hello Again Power Hour, to intentionally connect with people already in your world. Reach out to warm or hot leads. Follow up on past conversations. Encourage, check in, and offer resources. Make invitations where appropriate. Guaranteed, if you do this consistently for the next 30 days, you'll not only see new sales, you'll see deeper relationships, renewed confidence, and multiplied results. Because it's not about working harder. It's about working faithfully with what you already have. And one intentional hour a day can and will transform your pipeline, your business, and your peace of mind, all before the end of Q4. So, as you step into this week, don't rush out to gather more. Instead, look around at the people that God has already placed in your care, your profitable leads. These are the women who've already shown interest, trusted you, or worked with you in some way. So serve them well, steward them faithfully, water the seeds that are already in your field, and watch how He brings the increase. And if you want to learn the exact systems, strategies, and conversations that help the top 1% convert leads faster, monetize leads daily, and attract leads consistently, then be sure to join me for the Profitable Leads Masterclass happening October 21st through 23rd. During this live 3-day experience, you're going to walk away knowing exactly how to fill, nurture, and convert your pipeline the faithful way without feeling pushy or overwhelmed. So go grab your spot at redeemhertime.com/leads or click the link in the show notes. Okay, friend, I'll see you over inside the Redeem Her Time community where we'll talk more about this. Thanks for joining me for this episode. And until next time, remember, instead of chasing time on the clock, trying to control it, receive the gift of time from the one who truly holds it. Because as His daughter, you have time.